there was an article that appeared in July 24th in Nikkei Asia. It's a news publication that basically covers Asian. It's focused on the Asian continent, basically. So, but they had an article on here talking about maybe it's time for Japan to get real on UFO intelligence sharing. And this article was written by Hiroyuki Akita, a commentator for this organization for Nikkei Asia, and with a dateline in Tokyo. And he goes, the article starts off here, "Gone are the days when UFO stories were dismissed as crackpot pseudoscience. Today they are an emerging field of public policy debate." Of course, the article goes on. I will leave a link for this article in the description, too. He goes on to talk about he basically buries the lead because he goes on to talk about this UAP report from the Pentagon last June, which pretty much everybody already knows about. But then later on, it gets down to talking to a scientist here. It says here, even if intelligent life exists elsewhere in the vast universe, the sheer distances involved make it unlikely that such beings are visiting Earth at anywhere near the pace of reported UAP sightings. Now, the writer just makes that statement as if it's fact, like it's it's not attached to anybody. I mean, that's how does he know this? How could you possibly know this? You couldn't. Anyway. Then it goes on. Professor Hitoshi Murayama, a well-known theoretical particle physicist teaching at the University of California, Berkeley, explained, "Any planet with an environment similar to that of Earth is thought to be at least about 4 light years away from us," Murayama said. "Shuttling between such a planet and Earth would take an incredibly long time, even with extremely sophisticated technology. If extraterrestrial visitors are involved in any of the UAP, it is hard to understand how they travel to the Earth so frequently." And then there's the writer puts in a paragraph here. It basically says, "Existing earthly spaceships would take about 30,000 years to travel to a planet 4 light years away. Even for civilizations with far more advanced technology, the distance would be a daunting hurdle. These scientific assumptions support the view that UAP are human in origin. If so, at least some of the sightings may involve unknown, highly advanced technology from countries like Russia or China, possibly representing a serious security threat to the United States. Multiple military experts warned that objects capable of the otherworldly flight characteristics reported in some UAP were used for military purposes. Intercepting or tracking them with existing weapon systems would be next to impossible. Some UAP reports by the U.S. forces exhibit high-level stealth capabilities that defy radar detection. The report mentions the possibility of technologies deployed by China, Russia, another nation, or a non-governmental entity, but it admits there is no solid evidence to support such claims." And then to the writer's credit, he does go on to other. He does mention here Christopher Mellon, some of the hypothesis he's presented, like he's the former deputy assistant secretary of the Defense for Intelligence during the Clinton and Bush administrations. So I mean, it does. He tries to balance it out a little bit. But again, we're being let down here by a scientist who's making how does that I mean, that's a complete lack of imagination. That scientist doesn't take into account, again, they just cannot see themselves doing. They can't make themselves do it. They can't take into account the obviousness of this situation. Obviously, if there's things here that are doing things that our stuff can't do, that means there's something here that's probably 10,000, 100,000, a million years more advanced than us, whatever the case. And they figured some other things out. But these scientists, there's just some people that they have to keep everything within the laws of physics that we know, without thinking that somebody else out there might have figured some other things out. It's just ridiculous. I don't know how a scientist could be that way. But anyway. And then they're talking about the great distances here, like it's impossible. It's not impossible if you're more advanced. I mean, it's just that simple. And then, of course, the one thing that really drives me crazy when they keep talking about China and Russia. let's put it this way, folks. If China and Russia really were, if the United States military thought that China and Russia were responsible for these objects, they would be acting a lot more concerned about it. If this has been, the stuff in these Pentagon report, the videos that they're talking about, that they confirmed, this is we don't know what it is it only goes back to 2004. This has been going on for longer than 2004. This has been going on since 1947 at least. Okay, so if it was China or Russia, right, there would be a lot more concern about this in the military right now. You'd hear this, they'd be talking about this 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's not that. It's not China or Russia. And China and Russia, they know it's not the United States either. There might be some things out there. Okay, we might have TR-3Bs out there, possibly, okay? I'll give you that. But some of these things, a lot of these things that are unexplained, it doesn't belong to any country on this earth. Unless there's some country under the sea that we don't know about where aliens have put a base there or something.